The United States, along with a bunch of other countries, have a serious decision to make: postpone or hold your elections. Let's get into what's most likely to happen. Elections obviously are vital for democracy, so it makes sense in these troubled times to keep a hold on your government and hold them accountable, but at the same time, we should be understanding of different countries who would want to postpone their elections. So before we get into the US election itself, let's take a look at other countries who already made their decisions and what consequences it had for those countries. So the list that we see here are all countries that have postponed election due to the coronavirus. But let's just focus on Europe for now. So countries like France, they've had their second round of local elections postponed. We have also regional elections in Spain, and we see the constitutional referendum in Russia being postponed. Although at this point, what does it really matter in Russia? I mean, I'm not sure Putin is going to let an election get in the way of his rule. And of course, we have a long list of countries who already held their elections amid the coronavirus, and countries like Israel had their legislative elections, Germany have had their local elections, and Australia, who's actually been able to contain the coronavirus very effectively. In terms of countries who already held their elections, this CNN article reads, South Korea is holding an election during the coronavirus crisis. Other countries are postponing theirs, which we just talked about. Either way, democracy may suffer. So Julia expands on this in the article that democracy may suffer. She goes into depth about how obviously the elderly are more hit with the coronavirus than youth are, and therefore we are seeing less conservative votes in a bunch of different countries, including South Korea. In general, young people tend to vote more liberal, and in general, older people tend to vote more conservative. So a bunch of different countries are seeing their conservative vote take a big hit because the elderly are a little more afraid of actually showing up to the booths and actually voting when there are that many people around you. Before we go ahead to the US election, I would like to invite you guys to subscribe to my channel if you like the content that I'm creating. I'm a new channel, so I can really use the help with a sub. Thank you very much. The headline from the CNN article reads, No Donald Trump, you can't cancel the 2020 general election. And to be fair to Trump, he hasn't really said this in any way or hinted at it. But of course, CNN has to talk about it. So let's get into what Chris, the author of this CNN article, is talking about. Could Trump actually postpone or completely cancel the election if he wanted to? The article reads, a general election is not up to the states. It is governed by federal statute. And this language in particular. The Tuesday next after the first Monday in November in every even-numbered year is established as the day for the election in each of the states and territories of the United States of Representatives and delegates to the Congress commencing on the third day of January next thereafter. The President of the United States doesn't have the ability to change federal law created by Congress, not by executive order, not in any way. Only Congress can change federal law, and if you think Congress, where Democrats control the House, is going to cancel or even change the date of the election, well, that's just not going to happen, he says. So what Chris is saying in this article is true, that Trump can change the dates of the election based on his powers as president without the Congress helping him out. But it's all based on the premise that as Congress, you don't want to change the date of the election. To me, Joe Biden just really looks like a weak candidate for the Democrats. And I wouldn't be that surprised if the Democrats in Congress and the House were willing to actually postpone or change the dates of the election. Either way, this coronavirus thing really changes things up, and what's most important is that we keep our elderly safe, that they won't get in harm's way for voting. At the end of the day, that's what's important. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Is this just all spin from CNN? Would Trump actually never do this in the first place? Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your opinions. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching.